So I want you guys to know something, and that is that I'm Cycles. Yeah, it's quite useless, right? Useless fact. Why did I tell you this? And that is because I'm going to tell you what Cycles means to me. It means that I'm honest at all times, whether it's good or bad, for me or for you. So if you don't like honesty, then this channel is not for you, because this arc was good and bad, and I'm going to tell you the good parts and the bad parts, alright? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. So let me start with a good thing, and then I'll tell you a bad thing, and I'll go back to a good thing. I'm going to alternate between the two, alright? So let's start with the first thing about this arc I liked. Okay, what I liked is that Mitsuki actually went on a journey to find himself. Mitsuki is a character that is a synthetic human, has a predetermined destiny fixed by Orochimaru to follow Boruto for the rest of his motherfucking life. And this guy says, no, I'm not about to do that shit. I want to find my own destiny. So therefore he leaves and disobeys his parents, something which Boruto prompted him to do, and he decides to find his path. That is something I like, because Mitsuki was becoming this character who would do nothing but lick Boruto's ass, or jiggle his balls in his mouth 24/7. I want to do what Boruto wants to do and all that nonsense. It got to a point where he was easily dismissed, right? So I thought, okay, this is a method, a way for Mitsuki to stand out and say, hey, look, I'm a character of my own, and people should recognize me and like me, not because I'm, I exist to jiggle Boruto's balls, but I exist to be a person of my own and jiggle my own shit, you know what I'm saying? So in a way, yes, I'm happy Mitsuki actually, went on a journey to, discover himself. There was only one problem though. That's a bad thing, right? The one problem is that the entire arc got shifted from Mitsuki and was all about all these synthetic humans and human life, and it's a good thing at the same time based on the lessons that we learned, but it's a bad thing because the whole thing just shifted on Mitsuki and it turned into this mission, this secret mission that he was low-key on, to destroy all these synthetic humans. It's like, what's the point? Like, the entire focus of the arc was about Mitsuki, but it just shifted to these synthetic humans. And even though, they are related to him some sort of way, Mitsuki seems to be more advanced than, than them. So it's like, what's the point? These niggas are just garbage. Anyways, so let's get to a bad point, right? A bad point is that even though Mitsuki made choices for himself, at the end of the day, the resolve was kind of useless. Think about this, alright? So Mitsuki was leaving the village, which I found interesting. The reason why is because obviously he's trying to make his own choices. And what was interesting to me is that whether, I wanted to know whether his choice was going to be good or whether it's going to be bad. I hated the whole, copying of the, team member of Team 7 just leaves the entire village, to change their own path or whatever. I hate that being copied, right? But the fact that Mitsuki actually tried to make a choice made a difference in this way, okay? So obviously there is good and bad, and Mitsuki, if he chooses the good way, which he ended up choosing at the end of this arc, then obviously he goes on to be a leaf ninja. But the thing is, if he chose to be bad, then Orochimaru would have just activated a curse seal, which would have killed Mitsuki. So it's like he had free will, but at the same time he didn't have any free will. So at the end of the day, if he chose something bad, like it wouldn't have been interesting, because he would have been killed for choosing, something bad kind of thing. And in a way, that's no free will, and that kind of kills the whole interesting fact, and that kills the entire arc for me, because Mitsuki literally can't choose that or else he dies, right? So what's the point of saying I want to go and discover what my will is when you are not allowed to choose something? When they say, okay, if you choose this, you die, you're supposed to choose this. That's the whole point was to be able to choose his will, but he wasn't given the opportunity since his life was in someone else's hands if he chose the wrong thing. So that's a huge contradiction of rules the entire arc for me. So that being said, let's talk about a positive. And another positive is that Sarada is mastering her Sharingan, right? I don't know how she's getting all these lessons from Sharingan. Like, I don't know, maybe after Sasuke came into the village, he taught her how to use the Sharingan. But, the way she was using it against Buntan, I don't know how she did that, But, she's mastering her Sharingan, and apparently there was a scene where she was using the second Tomoe or something like that. I mean, there's a novel coming, a novel adaptation coming, in which her eyes should be at a more advanced level. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but it should be at an advanced level. And if they made this mistake and we we figure out later on that it wasn't a mistake, they actually did it on purpose, then I don't know, maybe they are setting things up to, you know, equate with the novel that's coming. But at the same time, they can always, you know, make changes because they have done so in the past. So yeah, I like how Sarada is learning really to, you know, utilize the Sharingan. She has done a better job as a 12-year-old than Sasuke did in part 1 of Naruto. So that's good. You know, she's a prodigy and it makes sense for her to be improving like this. Alright, now let's talk about a bad. So I want you to imagine this, okay? Think about a movie scene, one of the best movies that you've seen. Think about the best scene you've seen, right? And all the events occurring in that scene, okay? So say for example the scene is 5 minutes, or if it's like a minute, right? Extend that scene, stretch everything that happened in that scene by 60 minutes, turn the entire thing into an hour, right? Whatever made that scene so action-packed or full of tension or good, stretch all out in an hour. Okay, so say for example if someone has a knife and throws it and it hits someone and that makes the scene epic, right? Make sure that it takes an entire hour for the knife to leave a person's hand and to hit another person in the head. Is that going to be epic? No, it loses the tension, and that's the point I'm trying to make about this arc, nigga. This entire arc was dragged way too long. There are certain episodes which basically serve no purpose. I mean, let me give you an example, right? Because I like giving examples. I don't just like talking shit. Okay, an example was Naruto. No, I said Naruto. An example was Boruto in the Ryuchi cave, doing a puzzle and talking to this snake girl, this female snake girl, about how, you know, he neglected Mitsuki and wants to get out of the cave to, in order to chase him. It's like, bruh, he was doing a puzzle at the same time, and you know, it's like, what real value did we get out of this episode? We already know you're chasing Mitsuki. That's why you're out there. We've, you know, watched a few episodes of you telling us that you want to chase Mitsuki, and you're literally in this cave telling us something that you've been talking about, going on about, like for the previous 5 episodes before that. So it's like, what was the real value? Like, and I see niggas reviewing this shit, talking about, oh, this is a good episode. Like, nigga, really, nigga? Like, Boruto can literally, you know, there could be an entire episode created of Boruto just staring at a blank wall with a white dot there. People are gonna be like, oh shit, this is a good episode. Like, that's why I don't get like some. This is why sometimes I don't review some of these episodes, is because most of the time, yeah, there might be like one thing there to talk about, but except from that, the episode has nothing else to offer. And that's why sometimes I just don't review. But also, some of these niggas, like Boruto, can be like, there can be episodes where Boruto just, you know, plays with a stack of Legos and tries to form a Lego dildo and sit on it, and niggas will be like, oh, that's a good episode. Like, they really good. Nigga, no, it's not. So yeah, some of these episodes were dragged on too long, and some of these episodes just didn't need to exist. Like, if you were to really delete them from the entire arc, like, they wouldn't really make a difference. The only thing that, you know, Boruto really achieved from going to Ryuchi Cave is to, you know, catching his Pokemon. That's basically it. He just acquired his Pokemon. That's it. That's really it. There's really no point of him trying to prove Garaga wrong, all that shit. Like, we didn't even get to see him, you know, talk to Garaga and say, look, Mitsuki's back with me, and obviously I proved you wrong. We didn't even get that. So what's the point of that whole thing? Even Konohamaru at the end, like, there are scenes in which, you know, he went from Konoha to the Rock Village in order to keep things under control. I thought, okay, maybe Konohamaru is probably going to fight Ku or something like that. Nope. At the end of the arc, Naruto says, oh, he kept everything under control. Konohamaru says, no, I haven't done anything. And that's the problem. Like, we are getting all these scenes. It's a lot of filler, of just useless filler, and that's a fact. You cannot deny it, okay? So yeah, that is a bad thing, alright? Now let's talk about a good thing. Another good thing is that, you know, we got introduced to the synthetic humans. The synthetic humans represent, you know, humanity kind of thing. And even though they're synthetic humans, even though they weren't born in that kind of way, like they weren't naturally born, they are still human beings who have feelings and are able to, you know, think for themselves, fend for themselves, live as, you know, living beings. And these are things, morality, like, I like how Boruto always introduces morality into, you know, the story. It's one of these things that we rarely get in anime these days. Like, most anime is all about, you know, just people just messing around until the episodes are over and stuff. Like, they have nothing valuable to offer. So these are real life lessons here about, you know, human life and why we should value it, and so on and so forth. Like there are issues here in real life about how some people are not, you know, conceived in a natural way and stuff like that, you know, how they're still human and stuff. So, you know, this whole arc was important, but there was only one con about this whole thing. All right, so obviously we know that synthetic humans are, you know, they're still human beings, and the only problem is that, see, Mitsuki and all these other synthetic humans are created synthetically. Obviously they are, you know, created, we know Mitsuki was created at a young age and stuff, and then he grew up eventually. But some of these synthetic humans, they were created as, you know, full-fledged adults or something like that. So with that being said, they never had the chance to grow from infants, to learn how to control emotions, and to learn about their surroundings, and, you know, learn about how emotion works. They never had that chance to do that, and because of that, you know, they became obsessed with trying to become humans to the point where they pushed themselves to the brink, and that showed the desperation that they had in order to become human, in order to feel what it's like to become human. All they needed is just time and experience, but obviously they became obsessed to the point where, you know, they drove themselves to death. Like that woman with the special dojutsu that got killed, like that death was funny as fuck, and how these niggas hand just dried up like a freaking robe. Like that's what happens when, you know, you Vaseline, you know, rub Vaseline on your hands, you know, moisturize your hands, like you just fucking crack pieces of shit. But yeah, that was a bit funny. Both deaths were funny. Don't call me sadistic because those were funny, right? A bad thing is Onoki. Okay, this new character that they call Onoki in Boruto, I do not accept it as Onoki. This motherfucker is not Onoki. Okay, think about this. Onoki is a man that has lived through various shinobi wars. Okay, this guy has led his entire village through various ninja wars up until the recent one, the 4th Shinobi War, and he did so successfully. Okay, that means this guy must be knowledgeable, and with that kind of knowledge, you can't go wrong in thinking, because that shows if he's able to lead the village like this, he's a very good critical thinker. You must be, in order to lead an entire village through wars and, you know, have the village survive and, you know, be successful. So with this whole Akuta plan that he was coming up with, it didn't make sense how he couldn't think all these plans through. It just doesn't make sense. You can lead an entire village, yet you can't think one plan through. Like, it doesn't make sense. This is not Onoki that we know. Okay, this is just a, you know, sad old man who, you know, got traumatized by the fact that his grandchild died because of the advice he gave his grandchild. Now, here's the thing. Since he's lived through loads of wars, he should actually be desensitized by all this, you know, dying and stuff. He should be used to all of it, right? But for some reason, he's not when his grandchild dies. I know it's a bit more personal, but at the same time, like, he must be used to losses, right? And also, like I said, he should be able to think through his entire plan. If you're a Kage, you must be a good strategist, or at least intelligent to some kind of degree in order to gain that title, right? It's not just about strength, it's about, you know, knowledge as well. So the fact that he didn't, you know, think about this thoroughly through means that he's kind of stupid. Like, that doesn't make sense. That is not Onoki, alright? This guy has, you know, high status for a reason. He's Onoki, fenced to Onoki for a reason. This nigga's encountered Madara Uchiha and survived, alright? But then again, I guess the lesson is that you're never too old to make mistakes. You can always still, you know, learn how to improve your life better. But then again, he should be smarter than everyone else around him, because he has had the most experience in life and he would know how to deal with situations better. But for some reason, he didn't. And that right there is one of the things I just did not like. Now, this is my final point. Okay, so the next episode, the people who actually deserted the village, aka Mitsuki, is or might get punished, right? Here's the thing. Naruto is not in the position to punish anyone. He has lost that right to punish anyone, because the highest criminals alive he has actually taken into the village. Kabuto, the person who caused the deaths and caused the majority of the deaths of all the shinobis, you know, the whole reason all the shinobis were aligned in order to, you know, fight this threat. They needed to fight Kabuto. It was Kabuto who caused all the deaths, and this man let Kabuto live in the Leaf Village by forgiving him. Okay, so if you can forgive Kabuto, you can forgive Orochimaru, you know, get people to watch him, then you can't punishing a Nin for leaving your entire village. Like, that wouldn't make sense. So Naruto, by forgiving these people and even calling Obito the coolest guy, has lost the right to punish anyone by associating, like, by all these things that he's forgiven. Leaving, you know, deserting a village is lesser of a crime than killing an entire shinobi force, okay, or attacking the entire world. So Naruto has lost that right. I don't want to hear anything about, you know, Mitsuki left us, so therefore we must punish him, we must give him a few days, this and that. I don't hear none of that shit, because Naruto, no, he's unrealistic. We all know this. He's a fool, right? And I'm gonna make a video about how bad of a character Naruto is and how bad of a Hokage Naruto is. And there's this recurring theme that all these mistakes that these Kage make because of personal feelings, and at the end of the day it backfires on the entire village, right? So yeah, with that being said, that has been my review of the entire arc. Let me know what you think. Was I too critical? Was I you know, accurate on all that stuff? I want to know what you guys think, because I'm gonna probably make a follow-up video reading the comments, responding to you guys. And obviously I made promises about, you know, shouting people out on Instagram. I decided to do a video in which I shout out all the fans and stuff in one video, instead of like shouting out one by one in every single video. Like, that's gonna be long, right? And some of you niggas in my DMs and Instagram are getting really impatient, constantly hitting me up like, yo, where am I gonna get my shout out? Look, it's gonna come when it's gonna come, alright? Whenever I find time, I'm gonna do this shit, okay? So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Drop a like in this video if you agreed with my opinions. If not, then it is what it is. You are entitled to your opinion, and if you really want people to hear it, just be in my comment section. If not, just create your own channel and, you know, get your opinion out there. With that being said, I have nothing more to say. Check out some of the videos at the end, and bye.